The story. Scene 1. The counselor's office. November. The walls of Amara Washington's office had been carefully built over 11 years. College pennants from a dozen universities hung in a bright row above her desk. A whiteboard held color-coded timelines. A laminated poster near the door read, "Every student has a future. We help them find it." Amara believed this completely. Marcus Redcloud sat across from her, hands folded in his lap. 17 years old. Quiet in a way that held things carefully, the way someone holds something fragile. The career interest survey sat on the desk between them, crisp and filled in. "You scored high on investigative and artistic," Amara said, sliding a chart toward him. "That is a strong profile for biomedical engineering, environmental design, and even architecture. There is a joint program at State that places graduates in major firms by their second year." Marcus looked at the chart. He nodded once, slowly. "Thank you," he said. "I will think about it." He always said that. Scene 2. The hallway, 6 weeks later. Outside the cafeteria, Amara caught up with Marcus between classes. She had a brochure from the career fair, a printout from a job-shadowing program, and a summary from an online platform listing 900 occupations. She had tried most of them. "Marcus, tell me honestly, is there anything that excites you? Anything you actually think about?" He paused. His gaze moved to the window at the end of the hall, where bare November cottonwoods lined the edge of the school parking lot. "My grandfather," he said after a moment. "He works with the water, the river on the reservation. He tests it, watches it, has for 40 years. He knows things about it that the university scientists do not." "That is beautiful," Amara said. Then she handed him the environmental science brochure. He took it. He did not look excited. Scene 3. The break room, that evening. Delia Whitehorse poured 2 cups of coffee and sat down across from Amara. They met here on Thursday evenings, which was when Amara thought hardest about work. Delia taught multicultural counseling at the university across town and had a habit of asking the right question at the wrong moment. "I have a student I cannot reach," Amara said. "He is capable, thoughtful, and nothing I offer him fits." "What are you offering him? Career pathways, interest inventories, college programs with strong placement rates." Delia looked at her over the rim of her cup. "And what has he offered you?" Amara thought about the cottonwoods, the grandfather at the river. The water has been tested for 40 years. "He showed me his grandfather," she said quietly. "You have been asking Marcus to choose a career," Delia said. "Have you asked him what kind of person he wants to be for his people?" Amara was quiet for a long time. Scene 4. The tribal college, 1 month later. The workshop began at 8 in the morning, in a room with wide windows facing east. Amara was one of 3 school counselors in attendance. The rest of the room held tribal educators, indigenous career coaches, and 2 elders who said almost nothing, but whose presence shaped everything. She learned that morning what she had not been taught in graduate school: that career development does not always move in a line. That for many indigenous and collectivist communities, work is not separated from land, from family, from the obligations one carries to those who came before and those who will come after. She learned that the career interest inventory she had trusted for 11 years had been normed on samples that looked nothing like Marcus. Those frameworks built on individual autonomy and linear progression can feel, to some students, like a map of a place they have never lived. She drove home through bare fields and thought about maps. Scene 5. The counselor's office, December. Amara had cleared the college brochures from her desk. There were 2 cups of tea and a notepad and nothing else. "Tell me about your grandfather," she said. "What does he actually do with the water?" Marcus looked at her, then at the desk, then at her again. And then he talked for 20 minutes without stopping. He described aquifer levels and seasonal flow rates. He described his grandfather's field notebooks, 40 years of data written by hand, all bound in the same brown leather cover. He described the reservation's ongoing fight for water rights and the legal cases pending in federal court. He talked about what the land meant to his people and what would be lost if someone with scientific training were not there to protect it when his grandfather was gone. "What would it mean to do that work?" Amara asked. "It would mean staying," Marcus said. His voice was steady. "Staying with my people." This time, Amara did not give him anything to take home. She asked if she could meet with him, his mother, and his grandfather the following week. Scene 6. The Path. 3 weeks later, Marcus had a plan. It ran through an environmental science program at a tribal college, a summer internship with a water protection organization, and a long-term path in tribal natural resource management. His grandfather had driven into town for the planning meeting. His mother had cried, not because Marcus had found a prestigious career, but because he was coming home. Amara taped a new paper to her wall beside the college pennants. It was hand-drawn and rough-edged, covered in Marcus's notes and his grandfather's corrections in a different handwriting. At the center, someone had written a phrase from a community meeting held that winter. "The land knows where it needs you." She kept it there for the rest of her career.